We're back. We had some technical difficulties, but through the power of editing. Hey guys, this is Daniel.
And Matthew, and you're tuned in to the That Damn Brand podcast, episode whatever.
Oop, yeah, my auto frame kicked in right now.
Yeah, dude.
I was a little behind the scenes. So, it's been a while. I got quite a list of things that I want to talk about since then. So it should be fun. Let's dive right into it. It's a pretty big list. Right now, there's a big push for game preservation, especially with like I guess Nintendo and Sony not really liking people to like emulate their games. What emulators have are like the people who make the emulators have been having trouble with is emulating the PS3 games because of the cell processor back in the day. Not even developers knew how to develop for it.
Right.
Yeah. There's a leak coming from inside Sony saying that local PS3 emulation is being worked on and should release within a year.
For the PlayStation 5.
For the PlayStation 5, yes. I think that's pretty cool that they're doing that. I don't know how they're going to release games for it though, or is it going to be like? I guess you can use your disc still, if people still. I guess people have them, but they're going to be, not very many out there. I hope they have like a good the PlayStation Plus that they're doing the Game Pass wannabe, I guess.
Like the digital storefront, like
Yeah,
why would they not put them for sale?
Exactly, and just like the Game Pass equivalent. I forgot
PlayStation Plus. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. PlayStation Plus. Yeah.
Yeah, like people will sign up for that kind of stuff. And they're doing it for Nintendo. Why would they do it for PlayStation?
I mean, anyway, it's a proven model that works. So
yeah, a lot of people are excited about the leak because of game preservation, and I don't know how much you pay attention to that kind of stuff, but on YouTube, I've been seeing a lot of modders getting pissed off with the actions of, as we said, Nintendo and PlayStation. That's pretty much all I had to that one. If you want to respond.
Well, yeah. So I mean, I don't follow it like religiously, but I mean, I try and watch as much like gaming content on YouTube that I can for the things that I find interesting. And I do watch videos on like gaming history and gaming devices you've never heard of, you might not have heard of, games and all this kind of crap. So I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm like huge on game preservation, but as you saw the last time you came over, I've been trying, to start my gaming collection myself, and so it's like it's gonna be eventually it's gonna be sad that there's gonna be games that I have physical copies of that I have a fucking disc, and even if I have the fucking console, I can't play it because it has to be connected to the internet. The servers are offline, or like you said, they're trying to do emulation, and these companies like Nintendo or whatever are like, no, fuck you, like the game, we said the game's done, so the game's just done, and that's kind of fucked up because like if I own it, why can't I fucking play it?
Well, you're saying it that way with always online services, but even beyond that, like your Genesis is going to break, your NES is going to break, the game itself is going to break. It's only a matter of time before wear and tear takes out. So there needs to be some way for you to play the game outside of the original form, because you do own the game, and to be honest, like a lot of these games aren't coming back, so it's not like it hurts them in terms of like financially. I don't understand what the big problem. Maybe Nintendo because they re-release the games like every 5 years,
right?
But I don't see the issue.
Yeah, I mean, we should be allowed to own the digital copies as long as we have physical disc. But I mean, that goes into the whole ROM situation with Nintendo. We could probably talk. We'd probably do a podcast or a video by itself just talking about that sort of issue. But basically, I do agree that we should be able to have what we own, and it sucks. I actually did read, I think, something on Kotaku where they just shut down a bunch of things recently. I think it said Ubisoft shut down like 30, 31 fucking game servers or something. But it wasn't like all at once. It was just announcing that I guess when they decided they were going to end support for these games, that it put out a list, and so it's like some of them have already gone offline, and then all the rest of them are going offline in the future. But when I first saw it, I was like, damn, it shut down 31 game servers at once. Like, holy fuck, they're really trying to save money. But yeah, it's just sad the state that we're in these days, and as far as that goes.
Yeah, so we'll update you guys if we hear anything more on it. Right now, it's just a rumor, but it came from Red Gaming Tech when he's pretty accurate with his, especially with his PlayStation links. I think those are his like most accurate of them all. Next one, Forspoken. So it's a game coming out from Square at the end of this year. I actually don't know what the hell the game's about. What's fascinating to me is that it's going to use the new technology that's in the new consoles and on PC, where it pretty much has the hard drives talk directly to the GPU and the VRAM. They're touting a load time of a certain zone. Well, they show a picture of 1.7 seconds on a M.2 drive PCI 4.0. What I was saying was that we don't know what he was talking about with the 1 second load times. It could be anything at this point. It could be just like a black screen or like a dark place. I just think it's cool that they're finally using some sort of new technology to increase the quality of life of these type of games. And I think it's actually going to increase gameplay or change gameplay, because a lot of people have talked about how you can only load in, or a lot of devs, that you can only load in so much. So sometimes that kind of limitation actually affects their game design. So that's lifting some sort of limitations on the devs, which is only going to be good for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was thinking back to when you first mentioned. You said it was a game by Square Enix. Like, do you think it's still gonna be a game by Square Enix? That's something we'll get to in a little while. But that was just what I was thinking of when you were first talking about it.
Foreshadowing.
Ooh. But yeah, that's all I had for that.
The next thing I want to bring up is MCC, the Master Chief Collection, a game of greatest Halo. Well, the collection, the greatest Halo games ever, plus Halo 4. They released an update for both Halo 3 and for Halo 3 ODST. So I guess both Halo 3 games. Halo ODST, they added Flood to the firefight, which I think that's fucking awesome that they're like, that's like a legit update that we should be seeing like in Infinite. That's like a real substantial update. A new, not new game mode, but new enemies in a existing game mode. Like, that's fucking awesome. And I think it's cool. I've heard like it's actually really, really fun, and it brings like some life into it again. And people were going back and just playing it like when they first launched, and I actually do want to go back and play it myself. And they said it's actually really different from regular firefight, and that it's it's just a breath of fresh air. One thing that's non-canon though is if you play as Johnson, you can get affected by the flood. And canon is Johnson can't get affected by the flood. So for you non-Halo nerds.
Yeah, I was gonna see if you could explain that, but there you go, perfect.
Yeah, the thing that they actually added in Halo 3 was in PvP, you have access to the ODST weapons, like the silenced SMG and the silenced pistol. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know why it took this long to add them. I think it's kind of, whatever. 20 years later, it's fine.
I mean, hey, like, it's just cool that they're still supporting the games.
Exactly, dude. That game got more content than fucking Infinite. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. 100%. I agree with you.
But I think it's cool. It's the better game anyway, so focus your attention, put your best foot forward.
Like, don't update 4 or 5. Just update those games and then Infinite, and then,
Well, I don't even think they're like touching 5 at all, because they refuse to bring them to PC.
Good. Fuck that game. That game was such a slog. I've mentioned it before, and I'll say it every time we bring it up. That game fucking blew ass. It was so bad it made Kern fucking rage quit. Let's just say that.
Yeah, one of our buddies joined us for a level, and he was like, "What the fuck is this? Why are you guys playing this?"
I mean, everyone knows who Kern Wallace is that follow us. He's been on a couple of our podcast episodes. Anyway, but yeah, he rage quit over Halo 5. It was that awful. So.
That's pretty much all I had to say about that. I just think it's cool that it's still being updated, and I add something like that. We should go back and play. We still need to beat Reach. Maybe we can beat Reach before co-op comes out for
Infinite.
Infinite. Yeah. Anywho, next one's yours.
Okay, so one of the big things that came out of a Blizzard like showcase or whatever they're calling Blizzard,
BlizzCon.
yeah, it was BlizzCon. Okay, was when they announced Diablo Immortal, and then they were like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a mobile phone game because this is what everyone wants. This is the future of gaming." Blah blah blah. And then some guy came out on stage and was like, "Is this an early April Fool's joke?" And it was like basically a laughing stock of Blizzard's portfolio for the longest time. Because I mean, really, like, who fucking wanted Diablo on their phone or?
But he asked a good question, man. Don't you guys have phones?
Yeah, right. I mean, we do have phones, but yeah, who is clamoring for that though? Like, I really love Diablo, but one of the things that I want to be able to do is play it while I'm taking shit. Like,
yeah,
there's anyway, the big thing was Diablo Immortal was coming out, and it's gonna be on phones, and it was just like a huge laughing stock, blah blah blah. Well, now come to find out, they announced that it's coming to PC, and it's like, okay, why the fuck didn't y'all just do that in the first place? And then second of all, like, why? Is it because of all of the criticism and all the flack that you guys caught that you're like, fuck, we should release it on PC? And is there going to be like a graphics upgrade, or is there any kind of like differentiation, or is it just going to be like literally the mobile game that you can play on your fucking keyboard and mouse?
Yeah.
I honestly think it's kind of shit because I wasn't a fan of it to begin with, but the fact that they're now have decided to just change their stance and like, reverse course, like, it's kind of bullshit.
Well, okay, so I'll change. I read the article. I don't believe they changed their stance. The original stance is shit, and the new stance is shit. They said that it's because they knew the game was going to get emulated on PC anyway. That they're just going to release on PC. So it's still going to be a shit game. It's still going to be a mobile game. It probably won't look any better. Probably run a little better because it's PC instead of that. But like, it's going to be the same game. I don't give them really any brownie points for that. Like, it's cool that you're giving us more platforms to do it on, but it's still going to be a mobile game in the end of the day, so it's not going to have the depth that people want. It's going to be nickel and dime transactions, so it's pretty much, yeah, it's just the phone game on PC. And I think it's better that it happened the way it did, actually, for them. Like, first off, it shouldn't exist to begin with, so let me get that straight. But if you say that we're releasing this game on PC and phone, fans are going to get the expectation that it's going to be a real Diablo game. And now that we know it's a phone game on PC, at least you know it's shit to begin with, and you don't waste your time.
Yeah, you can manage people's expectations that way.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's true too, I guess. And I see their point about emulation because everyone, you can run BlueStacks, which is a Android emulator on your computer, and I don't even know if they have iPhone emulators. They probably fucking do. But so I mean, yeah, they're right. People that really wanted to play this, whatever the fucking market that is, whatever, have the 12 people in the world who wanted to play this fucking game. If for some reason they didn't want to install it on their phone, they would find a way to play it on their computer anyway. So,
can you imagine those losers that like emulate mobile Call of Duty and just run around like a controller and shit?
I'm so fucking good at this game. I'm like a Call of Duty god. Yeah, I can actually. Somebody actually comes to mind, but I don't want to mention it on the podcast. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down too, so I don't forget.
Also, speaking of squares, we got some news from Square Enix, who are doing some amazing things with 8 hard drives, but not their franchises.
Right. So you want me to go into this one?
Yeah, that was yours. So.
Well, so Square Enix decided, in their infinite wisdom, that they were gonna sell off Tomb Raider, Deus Ex Thief, like Avengers, I think, and not only the games, the IPs, but the studios themselves, like Crystal Dynamics, the studio behind Tomb Raider.
I did not know it was a studio. I thought it was one of the IPs.
No.
Oh, wow.
The studios and the IPs.
Wow.
Yeah, see, doesn't that make it so much worse? And
Yeah,
so they're and so not only are they selling the IPs and the fucking studios, but they're selling them for fucking beans in the world of gaming. 500 million to this company, I think it was called the Embracer Corp. And they apparently do this. Like they go around and they buy up studios and IPs and they're like a big collective. So they're selling all this shit to the Embracer Corp for $500 million, which is nothing. I mean, Microsoft paid like what 1.6 billion for
yeah,
Bethesda.
billions. Yeah,
Gearbox got bought out for $1 billion. Like they're a company, and like this is not just one game, one studio, whatever. This is like a lot of shit, and they basically sold it for pennies. And their reasoning behind doing this, behind unloading some of their best franchises and IPs, is because they want to get into NFTs and the blockchain.
and they didn't have enough money for it. Yeah,
Well, get this. They literally did it at like the worst possible fucking time. Because a thing that I just read like 2 days ago said the NFT market is collapsing upon itself. Like the market is down 98% since September.
well, I'm trying to look. I was trying to look it up while you were talking, but I can't find the final price. Did you hear about the
The
first
Jack
tweet
Dorsey
NFT?
tweet?
Yeah,
I did actually. So the guy paid like, I don't know, $50 million for it or something like that. Or maybe like he paid a couple $1 million for it. He tried to sell it.
2.9.
He tried to sell it for $50 million, and everyone's like, "No, that's fucking stupid." And he put it up at an auction. The highest bid at one point in time was $2,600.
I think it
Think
ended up selling for 14.
that's
I
what I
can't
was gonna.
find.
That's what I
Yeah,
was gonna say. What I said most recently was, uh, hold on. So anyway, uh, yeah, the thing we were talking about, the
how
first
the
tweet
tweet. Yeah,
sold for like I believe it was $14,000. That was the best offer. So can you imagine spending like millions on something because you think it's gonna be worth 10 times more? Only sell it for like fucking literal pennies comparison. Like
it's insane.
that's so dumb. And to me, that's the whole point of like to me, NFTs have been that stupid from the beginning. Like I understand there are people out there that made millions, got rich by doing some dumb shit, but in terms of just in general, NFTs are stupid, and Square fucked themselves up royally by selling off all these franchises to get into that market as it's collapsing.
Yeah, like NFTs, if you're an NFT artist, I can see why you're doing it. You're getting paid thousands of dollars to make a fucking monkey. But like the people who's buying the monkey, like, oh yeah, we're gonna turn around and flip this in the future. Like, who wants your fucking monkey, dude?
Right.
Like seriously. Like I don't and then they compare it to like the Mona Lisa and shit. I've read a whole bunch of the crypto shit. It's like, well, the Mona Lisa is actually like a physical thing that there's only one of, and like people want to hang it up in their house or their mansion. That's the people who are gonna buy it, and like it's like big dick energy shit. Like no one gives a fuck about your monkey, dude.
Right.
Anywho, that's fucking dumb. And yeah, Square Enix. I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't understand why. I think this is honestly just looks like it's the problem with the market, the whole market, the video game market, how they just chase trends, how they don't really have any good ideas anymore, and that's probably why a game like Elden Ring is getting like such big praise because it's something different. It stays true to like what game design is, and it's not trying to fucking nickel and dime you and try to like sell you an NFT to play in this dungeon or whatever. Like fuck, Ubisoft started doing NFTs. Square Enix is going to do NFTs. Like, and most game design AAA companies are going under because they just keep chasing money.
Yeah,
Like,
they get too fucking greedy, and then it ends up killing them.
like what's the like? We can think about like Halo Infinite was shit. And I don't mean shit as in like bad. I'm not saying these games like bad as in terms of gameplay, but like in terms of the quality of the games, how the condition the games came out. Halo Infinite came out in a broken ass state. Battlefield 1942, or I'm sorry, was it 25?
Field 2042.
2042 came out in a broken ass state. Cyberpunk, like we can go down the list of all the AAA games, the games that are supposed to be the cream of the crop that came out with just broken ass games. And I just think this is another nail in the coffin for these companies. Like, it's just another stupid shit that they're trying to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like I said, it was the worst possible time too. Like, if they had sold this shit to get an NFTs at the beginning, like like I said, the market's down 98% in September. So if they had sold sometime last year, then okay, like market's hot, maybe they can do something. But at this point, it's like it'd be like selling Bitcoin, while it's fucking crashing. Like, I mean, okay, or like trying to buy Bitcoin while it's like, 60, 70,000 and then selling it while it's like 3,000. No, that's not how you do it. So they fucked up. And honestly, what I saw, I mean, it sucks that they're selling like Crystal Dynamics in particular, because to me, I enjoyed the new Tomb Raider games. I've only played the first two. I really liked the first reboot game. I played like half of the second one. I need to go back and finish it. And then, the third one, from everything I saw, looked good. So like they make good games. And as far as I can tell, they actually sold decently too, but maybe just not to Square Enix's projections and their standards, So it's like it's not like they're putting out fucking shit games, you know what I mean? And these games come out and they're not broken, they're not, maybe aside from like Avengers, which was a commercial failure or whatever, but the Tomb Raider games were fucking great. So I don't know. Like,
I think they're disappointed by Guardians too.
Well, and you played that one. You said you really, really, really enjoyed it. You thought it was fun.
I love Guardians. That was great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they like again, it's not like they're selling studios that are fucking failures. Like to me, this is a steal. If you had the money to buy them, 500 million, you could easily make that back, in my opinion. Obviously not in an Avengers game, but
yeah. But you're getting Tomb Raider, and you're getting the whole IP, so you're getting the movie with it. You're getting like, I guess
merchandise.
The Rainbow Siege money. She's an icon. Lara Croft's an icon, and you can do so much more with Lara Croft than what they were doing. Deus Ex and Thief, old school gamers will appreciate them. I don't think they really have a place. I'm not gonna say they don't have a place. They don't really have the icon status that Tomb Raider does, but they do have a cult following, and people will buy a new Thief game. People will buy a new Deus Ex game.
It's Deus Ex.
Deus Ex, whatever. I think those are great franchises to just toss for NFTs.
I mean, maybe those in particular, but yeah, Tomb Raider to me was a big, and Crystal Dynamics and Tomb Raider was a big like, fuck, I couldn't believe they did that. But
no, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. Like, Tomb Raider has some power behind it.
Yeah,
definitely.
But speaking of Deus Ex, and this will be the last thing I mention for a second before we have to do some more technical wizardry. Speaking of Deus Ex, on our last Halo video that we were discussing, our friend Secret Asian Man commented. I don't know if you saw that, but he said that Pablo Schreiber sounds like Adam Jensen from Deus Ex, and I'm like, don't give them any ideas. they're gonna fucking make a live action Deus Ex, and they're gonna ruin it. For the people out there that actually are, fans of Deus Ex. So
yeah.
But just figured I'd bring that up. Maybe I'll throw that comment up on screen. But thanks for your comment, Andrew. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it. It's magic.
Yes.
So we just got done talking about NFTs and Meta. I think they're going to get into NFTs. Do you?
I mean, why wouldn't they? I guess. I mean, even though the market's crashing, they're like, "Fuck that! We are the market. Like, we're boomer heavy. We can make it happen."
So our next topic is there's a leak from a website called The Informative, and they claim that they saw internal roadmap of the next headsets for Meta. And they claimed there's going to be 4 headsets coming out before the end of 2022. So 4 headsets in 2024. I'm sorry. So 4 headsets in 2.5 years. That's kind of a lot of fucking headsets. Yeah. So the first one is going to be Project Cambridge, which is one that they've actually have announced. They just haven't released the specs of it. That one's going to, from the leak, it's going to be like kind of a VR/AR type headset. it's not going to be very much like really towards gaming. It will have some Oculus features, but the Oculus features will be limited. So it kind of sounds like that's more for meta, like the metaverse, and maybe some real world applications outside of gaming. So that really doesn't apply to us. But the screen's going to be really, really nice. Right now, the target price is $800 or higher. So, this is going to be like a fucking decked out headset.
I don't know, man. If it can't do gaming, that sounds like fucking awful. $800? Like, fuck, I paid $300 for the Go, whatever, the Quest 2, whatever. Like, shit, dude.
Well, it's probably going to be good enough to do it. It just won't have the application built into it, because it looks like it's going to be AR more than AR/VR.
I don't know. I guess I'd have to see it, but to me, $800 is like fucking mind-boggling. I can buy a graphics card and flip it for that price.
Not anymore.
Oh, I used to be able to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so then the next headset, which is supposed to come out in 2023, they don't say exactly when in 2023. It's just 2023 is actually going to be the follow-up to the Quest 2. So they don't really say if it's going to be Quest 3. The rumor was that they're supposed to announce a Quest 2 Pro, or it's just like a minor upgrade to the Quest 2. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it is going to be a Quest headset. The following year, in 2024, more towards the beginning, they're going to release another Quest headset, but not like a follow-up. It's more of a cheaper version of a Quest. Like they're trying to get it down to get it like a cheap version to get it into everyone's hands. I don't know what a cheap version of the Quest is. I thought $300 is pretty cheap for a headset, so maybe they're going to go down 200 and cut some cut some corners. I don't know.
Like, what was the Oculus Go? I thought that was like the cheap headset or whatever,
That was 200, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, so you're right. There was because that was the Quest 1 and the Go. You're right about that. I completely forgot about that. So they're probably going to do like another Go style thing where it's handicapped in a sense. It's just, with how tech is getting, like especially with these new graphics cards coming out soon, and the new CPUs coming out, like they're supposed to be leaps and bounds better. They can easily like use that tech, but like just use a very, very small die to get like a decent amount of power and like just have it super cheap. Kind of like what the rumor of the console refreshes will be. But that's a different story. And then the last headset is going to be like the successor to which will come out in 2024 towards the end of it. So I guess 2 years after Cambridge comes out, which will be kind of like the new Cambridge with like the lessons learned, like what did we do bad with this? What did we do? Like what can we do a little bit better? So it's going to be more of a, not so much a strong, like a better headset, but like a revised headset. And yeah, that's that leak. I'm actually pretty excited about the Quest. I've been holding off on buying a Quest 2 forever because I've been waiting for the next Quest. Now, at least I know I might get it within a year and a half. That's cool. But I've been holding out for like a year and a half. If I would have known to fucking take this long, I might have bought a Quest 2. Like I love it. I mean, I thought it was only gonna be like 2 years.
Yeah, because I mean, what you got right now is the Rift S, right?
Yeah, the Rift S.
So I mean, it's wireless, but not really, or like
it's a single wire. It's sensorless. The sensors are built in, but it has a single wire still into the computer.
Gotcha.
And yeah, like I kind of just feel like it needs an upgrade. Like it needs a better screen. I think the screen is what kills me the most. I just don't think the screens are, at least that screen is good enough. So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know if you plan on upgrading from your Quest 2 or just keep it.
I mean, it just depends on if it's going to be worth it, like a decent enough upgrade, and if I have the money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because I honestly didn't think. I to be honest, I probably would never have gotten a Quest if my puppy Sprinkles didn't chew through my Rift cable. If she didn't do that, I probably never would have even gotten it. It still works, but it works intermittently. Like she didn't chew through the cable entirely, but she chewed through like 75% of it. And even though I like taped it and tried to get everything as back into good working order as I could, it would like show some video and then cut out, and show some video and cut out, and it's like obviously if you're trying to play some shit that's not gonna fly.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I could try and sell this for parts and then use that money to get a quest, or yeah, get a quest. Or I was like, okay, I just bit the bullet and got it anyway. So, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. Now, again, like I said to you, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but I'm collecting video games and stuff now. So I mean, I might just buy the new one just to have it. Like, hey, look, this is my quest collection. Eventually, have enough money to just buy all of them. So, who knows?
Yeah. So our next topic's kind of just like a little kind of a PSA type thing. I've been watching videos for the new low-end graphics cards, like just came out, specifically the 3050, just to see how it performs versus other graphics cards. And last generation's 60 series or 60 card, the 2060, actually outperforms it in like in all the games of this video that I was watching, except for one, which is Halo Infinite. And I was like, why is that the case? So I've actually had to rewatch that section like a few times because I was just curious, like why would it be in every why would it, every other game except for that one? Then I noticed because when you run it, when they show the benchmarks, they're showing like everything that it uses, how much core power, how many, it's the CPU, the GPU power, all that stuff. And I was noticing that on the 3050, Halo Infinite was using 7 gigs of RAM. No, in 3060, it was, I mean, the 2060, I'm sorry, it was using 6 gigs of RAM because it only has 6 gigs. And that RAM difference, even though the 3060 or 3050 is a worse card, because it has more RAM, it'll outperform the other cards in games that need the additional RAM. I think it's just kind of interesting that we're finally getting to the point where graphics are getting more detailed and that kind of, and also Halo Infinite is just fully optimized, to be honest. But I think we're going to be seeing a lot more graphically intensive games in the near future, like within the next year. And I'm just really excited about that. And you can see it in how PC parts from 2 years ago are already starting to feel it.
Like
and that was it for that.
Well, so like, what would you say is going to be? What would you think? If you had to speculate, would be the new like can it run Crisis? Like, what game would you think is going to be like the new Crisis, like the benchmark for graphics cards and CPUs and whatnot? Like, is there something that comes to mind, or you have no idea?
I have no idea, but I guess it depends on what you're trying to. Oh, well, can it run it? Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe like Cyberpunk 2078. They come out with a sequel to that. That's not all buggy and janky and shit.
Well, aren't they? They're supposed to, right? There's still a sequel planned for that game.
I don't know. Like, honestly, I have the Xbox One version. It's just sitting on my, game collection shelf, like brand new, sealed, and everything. I could pop it into this Xbox One I have underneath my desk and play it, but I have chosen not to. Because I figured I might be able to get it on Steam during a sale for like $5, since it's not exactly doing the best.
I think you can actually. I think I've seen it for like 10, 20 bucks.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah. I don't know. I might get around to playing it one day, but I mean, you had your hands on it for a little while. I think I remember you trying to stream it, or you did stream it once or twice.
Yeah, I had. Well, I played it for like 2 days, and I actually didn't run any problems, to be honest. So I can't shit on it the way everyone else was. I just didn't. Maybe I didn't get far enough. I just didn't feel like it was a game for me.
I mean, there was nothing there to like hold you down, keep your interest, keep you tied in and invested.
Yeah, I just don't think it was my style of game. I think like that's like Elder Scrolls. I think they're fun, but it's not my style of game.
Oh, like Elder Scrolls Online?
Yeah, well, no, not online, because online's a little bit more guided.
MMO.
Yeah. Like the regular Elder Scrolls, like Skyrim, like Fallout. I really don't care for Fallout that much. It's all right. Like, I have nothing against it. I think it's a good game. It's just not for me.
Yeah, and I mean, we were just talking before we were recording this about Skyrim VR being on sale on Green Man, and I was disappointed that it sold out. Because it was like I told him, I was like, if it's less than $20, I'll buy it. And he's like, yeah, it was $17. Fuck.
I might get that just because VR, but
yeah,
that would be fun.
Yeah, because I mean, I've I played through Skyrim a lot, actually. You know what's funny though is like all the hours that I've invested in Skyrim, I still have never technically beaten it because obviously there's an actual campaign, but
Yeah.
it's like such a huge open world game. There's so much shit to do and explore and etc. that like I never got around to actually beating the game. Like I've spent all these hours having fun doing shit, and I just was like, fuck the main campaign.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like I don't know. So I mean, it'd be cool to revisit in VR and just explore this shit that I've already seen and maybe find new stuff. Like I think that'd be really cool, actually.
I would pick up the VR version just to like mess around with it.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, what I do want to say though is before the GPUs came out last generation or this generation, before this generation's GPUs came out, one of the Doom developers came out and said you do not want to buy a card. This was a year ago with minimum 8 gigs of VRAM. So that's going to be the new minimum.
So they said you don't want to buy a card like that. You want to buy one that has more than 8 gigs.
No. The minimum VRAM you want in your card is 8 gigs.
Okay. Gotcha. That's I mean that's pretty. That's a lot. I mean, what is the 3070 Ti that I have? Like I don't even know. Yeah. See. So I mean, but that's a 3070 Ti. Like what is in the 30 line? What are the cards that have 8 off the top of your head, if you know?
All of them except the 60, which for some reason has 12, and then the 80 has 10. Yeah, the 50 has 8. The 50 has 8.
Really?
Yeah, the 50 has 8. The 60 has 12. The 60 Ti 8, 78, 70 Ti 8, 80 10, 80 Ti 12. The 3080 12 gig has 12, and then the
3090.
The 3090 is a 24.
24.
Yeah, you don't even need that shit. Like that's just marketing.
Fucking overkill. Like,
yeah, this is marketing.
You could play Halo Infinite 6 times on one computer and you could handle it probably.
I don't think any game in 4K goes past 12 right now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, future proof. I'm not even saying future proof, just to stay relevant with these current games. As we see in Halo Infinite, you need 8 gigs or 7 gigs, but there's no 7 gig card, so 8 gigs.
Right.
Last one, which is actually something that I've talked about a long time ago when our podcast first came out. How I was going to go to the Olympics and then go to Nintendo World because it's going to open the Olympics, and then the world went to shit. So yeah, haven't done any of that. Anywho, Nintendo World is planning to open their first American Nintendo World because there's going to be 2 in America. So that's why I say first American. And Hollywood, they're already building it. I don't know what area they're taking over because the thing about the Hollywood Studios is it's kind of in the middle of the city, and like half of it's like on top of a parking lot too, which is kind of funny. So they're kind of like boxed in. They don't have any more room. So whenever they're building something new, they have to get rid of something.
Oh well, I was thinking go vertically, but yeah.
Yeah, no, like yeah, they just got rid of something because if you're building rides, like you can't just.
Well, like what if they did like kind of like Minecraft where they go up and then they start going out into the sky. They could make a cloud world for Mario. You know what I mean? Fucking Lakitu up there and shit. That'd be amazing. Hell yeah.
So that's construction starting. They already confirmed 2023. So next year. But if you're in LA and you stop by Universal Studios, you can already buy the merch.
Nice.
So stupid.
Nice.
But anywho, I'm really excited about that. I want to go do that. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be the worst version of Mario World because of their size restriction. Because of the size restriction. From my understanding, they're not going to have the Yoshi's Island ride. It's going to be the Mario Kart ride and then like another ride. But for our US watchers, it's probably everyone, minus Kern.
Korea, what's up?
They are building the best Mario World in Universal Studios Florida because they just bought a shitload of land and they're building a third park over there. So they're going to make it as however they want because that's going to be their first real like big attraction at that park. That's probably going to be the attraction at that park. So this is kind of just to hold us over until 2025 when the real one comes. But anywho, we need to make a damn trip down there. I also want to get on the new Jurassic Park ride. I was able to ride the Jurassic World ride. I'm sorry. I was able to ride the Jurassic Park ride the last month that it was open. Fortunately, because me and my cousin were down there for E3 right before they closed it and renovated it for the Jurassic World ride. So I do want to get on that. So I do have more than one reason to go down there. But yeah, I want to go down there, buy some fast passes, pass the kids, tell them if their parents love them, they would have fast passes too. Enjoy the ride.
That just reminds me of an Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where like they go to a water park and they think that like, being disabled and stuff like gets you to the front of the line. But instead of saying like, they're crippled or they're, mentally handicapped or whatever, they're like, AIDS, I've got the AIDS. Let me get to the front of the line. Like it's like what? I don't know. Funny. That's yeah. But I mean, I'd be down, dude, checking out Nintendo World. Hell yeah.
I would love to go. Maybe in a time where there's not a lot of kids, not during the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe what would be a good time?
Fall. Like September, when it's still warm, but there's no kids. All right, I'm not gonna say there's no kids. There's always gonna be kids, but there's less kids.
Yeah. I'm down. Well, if we do end up going, we'll do like a live vlog or live stream or something at the park so you guys can experience it with us. At least while we're walking around. Maybe not while we're on the ride. That would be fucking crazy, but
yeah. A GoPro.
Yeah, actually that could work. We buy a GoPro and just strap it on our chest or our head.
Yeah, chest because I don't know because I heard the Mario Kart ride actually everyone has VR goggles.
Really?
And you're like looking around and stuff, and like everyone has their own little steering wheel. Even though it's like you're in a cart where it's like 2 and 2, but everyone has their own steering wheel and their own VR goggles, and like you're kind of playing a little game of Mario Kart in there while on the ride.
It's like when you hand your little brother or your cousin the Player 2 controller, so
the unplugged controller.
To make them think that they're playing what you're actually playing. Like that's probably the same kind of concept. It's like, look, you're controlling the cart. This is actually happening, but it's like not really. Anyway, good times. Yeah. So if we end up doing that, we'll let you guys know. So.
For sure, and that's all we got. Unless you have something else that you want to bring up.
Nah, that's good for me.
All right, so I've been Daniel.
And I've been Matthew.
And we'll see you again.
All right. Peace.